Hey guys, welcome to Beware the Awakening. Took a Rocket Madness, featuring new Crobat from Paradox Rift with the Echoing Madness attack, hitting 50 damage for 2 colorless, locking opponent from playing either supporter cards or items from their hand during their next turn. We'll playing this card with our Arbok EX from 151 with the Menacing Fangs attack, hitting 150 damage for 3 darkness, forcing your opponent to discard 2 cards from their hand. To satisfy the attack cost with our Energy Switch with Galarian Moltres V combo, 2 Dark Patch and 1 Raihan. We even have 1 Roaring Moon as an additional attacker, 2 Golbat and 1 Radiant Greninja for the draw support, in addition to 4 Iono, 2 Chorus, 1 Worker, and 1 Rika. Next, we've got 1 Rod to shuffle back our Pokemon energies, 1 Boss to our power play, 1 Defiance Band for the extra damage, and 1 Reversal for Crobat with 11 basic Darkness energy. You can also think about playing Forest Stone for your Moltres, and swapping 1 Roaring Moon for an Absol EX, hitting 220 damage with Cursed Slug for 2 Darkness and 1 colorless, if your opponent has 3 of your cards in their hand, from the residual effect of our Hand Disruption / Supporter Item Lock. So that's all for the deck list. Now let's go for some gameplay and see how well this deck works. Okay, let's go for our first game with Rocket Madness. In the Greninja League, we got Tyranitar, our mascot, coin mascot, for a Darkness box, and our Wooper deck sleeve, Paldean Wooper, representing Arbok, being a poison type, is actually weak to his ground. I thought he's weak to his grass at first. Silly me, because Arbok is a poison type. And we have our Galarian Moltres with Roaring Moon / Absol. So you can decide whether to play Roaring Moon or Absol, depending on your preference. I just prefer the free knockout with Frenzied Gouging. But if they put pressure on your Roaring Moon though, because we are not playing Capsule for this deck, we don't have the space for Capsule, we don't have the space for Safety Goggles, cards like that. So if you're not playing extra HP, they can quite easily just do 30 damage snipe on the bench, or like place 3 damage counters on, with a Starmie, with Iron Valiant or something on the Roaring Moon. And then on the next turn, if you play your Frenzied Gouging, you're going to end up knocking out your own active, giving them the free 2 prize. So that is the one thing I would say that is bad about Roaring Moon. Gouging is not perfect, obviously, as we all know. We're left with 30 HP remaining on the next turn if it has full HP to begin with when you first start off attacking with your Roaring Moon. I'm saying the name a lot of times. I mean, I'm referring to that Pokemon's name so many times. If you play Absol though, getting it early is not going to help. If you play Absol, you should be benching it super late, just because then you get to play Iono, right? Iono is going to give them, if they have 2 or 3 prize cards remaining, Iono is going to give you the extra damage boost for your Absol's Cursed Slug. So Cursed Slug does 120 more damage if your opponent has 3 or fewer cards remaining in their hand. So that means you have to play Iono for Absol to be able to hit 220 damage at the last second, and it actually needs 2 darkness and 1 colorless for Cursed Slug as well. So it's actually quite a lot to make Absol EX work, but when it does, it's like the best feeling ever, because it's not easy, is it? You have to play Iono or Roxanne. You can think about adding cards like Roxanne, Judge into the deck, Grabber, Curse Duster. I wanted to play Curse Duster and Grabber with Arbok so badly, but unfortunately, we need to fit in Crobat, we need to fit in Moltres, Energy Switch, Dark Patch. We don't have the space for those cards. But anyways, I may be going off topic a little. So for this game though, we actually are not playing Roaring Moon or Absol. We're focusing on Arbok, Crobat, the dual combo. So Hand Disruption with Lock against a Goldengo EX, which is actually playing a lot of items. So we should be playing what's the Echo Madness? I think that's the attack. We should be playing Echo Madness to lock their item cards at, near the end of the game when they have a lot of energies in the discard pile after they knock out our Arboks. So that's our main strategy, right? The main combo for this deck obviously is Menacing Fangs and Echo Madness. Not doing a lot of damage, but we are doing a lot of disruption. So we have instead like 3 copies of Arbok and Ekans for this game. Just a little bit unusual. Normally if you play a stage 1 EX, 2 copies is enough. But if you want it as your main attacker though, you should be playing 3 copies. right? That's the reason we have only 2 now, just because Arbok is not a great attacker. It's not doing enough damage. That's why we need reinforcements like Roaring Moon, Moltres to do extra damage to finish off the Pokemon, and play out Crobat at the right time. You know, when they have like 50 or less HP remaining, we can do Echoing Madness to lock their hand, lock them from playing supporter cards or items. That's a very cool effect that we get to actually experiment with, we get to toy with for this deck, and I'm super happy that I finally built a Crobat deck. It's not super powerful or anything like that, but it has potential, just because the disruption and chaos that we are causing our opponent is pretty crazy. If they knock out the Crobat, they get only 1 prize, so they really want to be dealing with the Arbok. If we have the Arbok, if we don't attack with it, it would be a waste. So make sure you do Menacing Fang first to set up for your Echoing Madness, locking them from playing supporter cards if they don't have 𝑽𝒊𝒐𝒍𝒐, locking them from playing items if they use rare candies or retrieval, stuff like that. It blocks Mirage Gate, Switch, it blocks a lot of things, right? If you play the supporter lock, you're actually locking them from playing a boss. Like, think about that. They cannot boss any of your benched V or EXs, and that means they're forced to play Cross Switcher or Pokemon Catcher, Counter Catcher to target those cards, Escape Rope even. But obviously they can't, you know, you have to search for 2 Cross Switcher to be able to play it, and they can't play Iono to search for it. They can't, you know, play any other supporter cards, obviously. If they play Counter Catcher, they need the counter condition, so it's not easy. I don't think they would have the counter condition just because we are not drawing prize cards as fast. We're not doing a lot of damage with Arbok. So normally for this deck, we would be behind the game. That's why we are playing 1 reversal. Unless if you do like your Frenzy Gouging early, we do have a Roaring Moon now, so it could actually change the game a bit. We can also get extra prizes with Moltres, depending on the situation. If they play like a Mew, if we get our boss early, if they play, you know, Evolution EXs, we could do our, what's the attack called again? Fiery Wrath for 1 prize. Easy kill before actually retreating to some other attackers. So we're actually forced to retreat the Moltres if we have it stuck as our first active. Believe it or not, we're not playing any switch cards for this deck. No Jet Energy, no Escape Rope, none of that, just because I think 3 free retreat Zubats warrant the fact that we have no switch cards for this deck. I feel like it's justified, because we have free retreat Crobat, free retreat Zubats, and quite honestly, we don't have the space to fit in those cards just because we need Dark Patch, Energy Switch, the list goes on. We need 3 Darkness Energy for Arbok, can you believe that? For only 150 damage. Like, think about that. Revavroom EX. Revavroom EX requires 2 metal and 1 colorless, with an additional effect of taking 30 less damage during your opponent's next turn. It has an effect of attack that actually does something, and is doing 170 damage for 2 metal and 1 colorless. Why is Arbok doing less damage than Revavroom EX when it's an EX, a stage 1 EX, and it requires 3 darkness? I just think 150 does not make sense for a stage 1 EX, just because it has a very powerful effect. I wouldn't say it's that powerful just because you are discarding only 2 cards from your opponent's hand. You don't even get to choose what cards that you're discarding. Your opponent is choosing those cards. So why is it even doing so little damage? It boggles the mind. Like, how are they making cards so weak just because it's disruption? Always if you discard something from your opponent's hand, or if you do some crazy special effects, they punish you by giving you very little damage. Like Crobat, why isn't it 70 damage? If Echoing Madness does 70, then we can at least kill off a Chien-Pao after doing Menacing Fangs while locking them from playing their Super Energy Retrievals. Like, the fact that Echoing Madness only does 50 damage forces us to play Defiance Band, forces us to play other cards to make sure we have enough damage to basically get by the game, just because Arbok isn't doing enough damage, Crobat isn't doing enough damage. I just kind of just frustrates the hell out of me. I don't know what to do. Like, the combo, the effect combo is so good, but the damage is not there. The damage is so close to a perfect fit, but not quite. Like 200 damage total is just not a good fit. Unfortunately, on the current meta, if we have like 220 or 240 total damage, that would be a match made in heaven. Like, can you imagine if Menacing Fang does 170? I don't know why. I hate this game sometimes. It's just me ranting, but I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think Menacing Fang doing 150 is bogus? Or do you think there should be something else that adds damage to the game for darkness types? We have Rapidash and Moltres for fire, Articuno for ice or water type, Zapdos Ilaki for lightning for the damage boost, but for any other type we have no damage boost, except maybe Practice Studio and Defiance ban. So I guess we're just cornered into playing the Defiance ban for this deck. Finally added one copy at the last upgrade. Just a little depressing. We even have Poppy for this game. Look at that. Poppy would fit in so well with Moltres, but eventually we decided to cut it out for another Energy Switch, just because it keeps showing up way too early. Sort of like Miriam. If you play Miriam, it loves to come out at the start of the game. Like, what are you gonna do with Miriam as your first supporter? If you get Miriam instead of Iono, what are you gonna do? You're basically stuck for a couple turns. That's why this game is so complex. Like, if you play the wrong amount of supporter cards, you're just never gonna get a good start. You're never gonna get, the right cards at the right time. You have to be very careful in terms of your deck construction, in terms of the number of cards that you're playing. It's not easy. I mean, to a regular player, I think you know what I'm talking about. And the funniest thing I would have to say about this game is that if you play 4 copies of a certain card, it has 75% more chances of it showing up into your hand on the very first draw. So if you want your Iono on your first turn, make sure to play 4 copies. If you want Research on your first turn, make sure to play 4 copies of that. If you want 𝑧𝒄𝒂𝒓𝒄𝒂𝒑 EX on the first turn, make sure to play 4 Nest Ball and 4 VIP, right? Item cards though, I'm not too sure, honestly, because everyone plays a lot of items in their deck. If your opponent plays 4/4, VIP, Nest Ball, Ultra Ball, Level Ball, Fog Crystal, if they have a lot more of those items than you do, then good luck getting your basics. I'm sorry, but it's a competition. It's basically a competition of how many basic summons both players have in their deck. If you have more, you win, you get a better setup. That's why when you play against Miraidon EX, for example, you never seem to get your VIP or Nest Balls early. Because guess what? They just need one Nest Ball, they just need one basic, one Miraidon in play to basically get a full bench. That's how ridiculous Miraidon is. Like, I think it's pretty clear by now, because it's like Paradox Rift. How many sets is it since Scarlet and Violet? I think people are pretty familiar with Miraidon by now. And there are good counters, like enough balls in your deck, like Forest Seal Stone, cards like that helps you basically, connect the dot against decks that play full basics. If you play against a full basic deck, it would be a lot more difficult for you to get the right cards, especially if you're doing the Stage 2 evolution with Rare Candy, like Charizard. So you gotta be careful, you gotta have some extra tricks up your sleeve when you're up against like Roaring Moon, full basic, Miraidon, full basic, Iron Hands, cards like Chien-Pao as well with Irida. Chien-Pao is basically a full basic deck because they got Irida for the Rare Candy. Serena EX and Terra Garchomp as well. Well, obviously if you're attacking with a Stage 2, it's a different story. If you have a Stage 2 support like Excalibur, it's, a lot easier to get those cards. Chien-Pao is definitely still in the game, very, very powerful with Iron Hands. I haven't played Iron Hands yet. Like, everyone's spamming that card on standard. Is it really that good? 120 damage for an extra price. I mean, it works best, I feel, with Ilaki VMAX because you're doing extra damage, but I'm not sure if you can charge up with enough energy with just the generator and Flaffy. I'm not sure if it works that well. But anyways, coming back to the game. So now we're gonna do either a supporter lock or an item lock. I feel like the best thing to do against decks like Goldengo or Chien-Pao is the item lock, because that actually blocks them from playing their vessels, super energy retrieval, rod, recycler if they have it. I don't think they're playing recycler though. It would be smart for Gholdengo EX to play Recycler actually and Chien-Pao, just because it counters Toedscruel. If they play Toedscruel from Paradox Rift, you're not actually allowed to retrieve any Pokemon or energies from your discard pile back into your hand. You can still shuffle them back into your deck, but you're not allowed to play Clara to put cards back into your hand. You're not allowed to play Pelipper or Bayonet to put supporter cards back into your hand. So it's actually a very, very fun card right now. Toedscruel locks the meta, right? We could actually choose to play Toedscruel with Hand Disruption as well. But yeah, I think the best move to make right now is just to lock them until they knock out the Crobat. We should just keep playing Echoing Madness until they have some way of switching or retreating. They have to retreat though, they can't play a switch because we are locking their items. So that's a fun thing. If you play the supporter lock, you can block them from playing Raihan, Boss, Iono to disrupt your hand. They can't play Worker, Avery, you know, weird cards like that. So Sydney. I don't think anyone plays Sydney now, or Giacomo. Giacomo is okay for a control deck, but I'm not sure if it's actually doing anything on the meta right now. Maybe if they play Luminous for Chien-Pao, you know, Luminous for Iron Hands, you could actually discard that one Luminous, but they probably have a couple Lightning as well in their deck with the Vessel, so I don't think it's gonna do much. Avery though, for some reason everyone's playing Avery in their deck. I don't know why it's getting so popular these days. And it's super annoying because I love to play bench effects. I love to add cards like, you know, Bibarel, Cherim, a lot of cards on the bench, like Puzzle-Minun as well, for fun gimmicks. I love abilities on the bench, and if you play Avery, you're gonna force me to shuffle back my Pokemons and re-bench them, re-evolve my Stage 2 supports as well, like Porygon Z, re-evolve those cards just to be able to use back their abilities, which is a huge bummer. I hate Avery. Who doesn't? That's the worst supporter ever, the most disruptive supporter card by far in format, even worse than Iono. Iono at the last minute destroys a deck that plays Xatu, by the way. If you play a Xatu for your draw, for your main draw engine, without a Mew EX, you're gonna be destroyed by Iono at the final hour. If you have one price remaining, good luck getting the right cards after they do an Iono on you. Goodbye. That's it. The game has finished with one Iono. Iono destroys a Lost Box, by the way. If you play Iono against a Lost Box, they get stuck for good. For good, because they can't play the Comfy anymore. They can't play Comfy's ability anymore, because they've run out of their switches. No more switches. No more Flower Select. No more Chorus. It's over. Goodbye, Lost Box. Iono. All you need to play is Iono at the last minute. And some decks will crash, burn, and fall apart. So that's the thing. You can never prepare for everything. You think you're gonna win the game? Nope, here comes Iono. You don't have Bibarel, you're playing a Xatu? Good luck. Good luck getting your supporters. Good luck getting your next attacker with enough energies to attack. It's over. But those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? What are your most hated supporter cards in format? What's the worst supporter that you're most afraid of? For me, it's probably just Boss and Avery. Most times it's just the Boss, really. The Boss's order. Like, how many copies can you possibly play in a deck? How many bosses can you do? You would be surprised that some decks can play Boss 4 turns in a row. 4 turns in a row. Boss's order. Boss's order. Boss's order. Like, are you kidding? And they don't even need the Paul Pad. I'm not joking, guys. They don't even need the bloody Paul Pad. 4 turns in a row. What a ridiculous joke this game is. It's made possible by silly cards like Genesect V, silly cards like Forest Seal Stone, and the silliest of all silly cards, Pidgeot EX. Pidgeot EX allows you to play Boss every single turn until you get your Paul Pad with your Mew EX, to shuffle them back only to do another boss for the 5th and 6th time just to kill a 1-price Crobat or whatever they have on their bench that they are slowly setting up to attack but fail to do so just because you keep playing a goddamn boss. It's by far the most abusive supporter card ever. I think they really made a mistake when they first started inventing the Lysandre card back in X and Y. I think that was the very first boss. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. The only counter, we used to have Articuno for Sun and Moon. Now we have Diancie for Sword and Shield. There's nothing in Paldea Evolve yet that actually blocks the boss. But it's still early days, I guess. We also have Leafy Camo Poncho for Silver Tempest as well. Leafy Camo Poncho blocks boss if you have it attached to your V-Star or V-Max. It doesn't even work on basic Vs. So I'm not sure if that tool card is that great. It is also a tool card, by the way. That means they get to play Lost Vacuum to remove the tool and target it with the boss. Super annoying, eh? Everything has a counter. Like, even Diancie, all you need is Escape Rope, unless if they have another copy on the bench. Diancie doesn't work on evolutions, it only works on basic, so it's kind of the direct opposite of the Poncho, because it actually works on basic Vs. But enough complaining, let's get back to the game. So we have a Giratina V-Star matchup right now against the Lost Box. Speak of the Devil. They didn't get their Comfy early though, so a little bit unfortunate, I guess. So we have actually perfected the consistency for this deck. So we're actually able to play, I'm happy to say, I'm proud to say that we actually get to do Menacing Fangs on the 2nd turn after doing the Dark Patch very much easily. Because we have a good amount of supporters, enough energies, our Heavy Ball for Moltres, Golbat for the extra draw. We used to have Forest Seal Stone for Moltres as well, but now we've decided to swap that card out for a Defiance Band because we can't go without that card, unfortunately. So Defiance Band is going to help you collect the knockout on Chien-Pao, for example, after doing Menacing Fangs with your Crobat. Doing Echoing Madness for a lock and knockout. Chien-Pao is still pretty crazy though, because it does a 1-hit knockout on your Arbok, and then after that they can keep smashing. So even if you lock their items, they can still play the ability. So there isn't really much point doing a disruption on Chien-Pao. Because we only have 130 HP for Crobat, they can quite easily just smash for the knockout with just 3 energies in play. And if they knock out the Crobat, you can't lock them anymore without evolving another one, obviously. There's always a way though, and we do have Roaring Moon now, so we may be able to collect prizes faster than Chien-Pao if we go first, maybe? Hopefully. I'm not sure. We only got one Chien-Pao matchup. We lost the game because we haven't perfected the consistency for the deck yet. But now that I have reached like optimal value, like optimum capacity for this deck, I feel like it's still not really up par towards, it's not up to Chien-Pao's standard yet. I don't think we can win against the Chien. I'm not that confident, but we do have the Frenzied Gouging. We do have the Defiance Band for the extra damage. You know, we have some potential. Some potential. Maybe about 15% or 17% against Chien-Pao. 17% win rate. It's better than nothing, right? Definitely better than nothing. So, here comes Giratina V-Star though. But not enough energies to attack, unfortunately. We're getting stuck because we have Menacing Fang to discard 2 cards at a time. We apparently discarded a lot of cards from our opponent's hand and made them get stuck. Because if we discard the switch, they can't play Comfy enough times. If they discard, they actually get to choose though. So they can still discard like VIP, their balls. I don't know. Why are they not getting their Colress? We did play Iono on the last turn to help their hand. So it's a little bit weird that they're not getting anything right now. Maybe they got their Mirage Gate and they couldn't play it because they haven't lost enough cards. Too bad, Giratina. Too bad. They still have Sableye though, but I doubt Sableye can do anything. They have only like 4 or 5 cards in the Lost Zone. Here comes Comfy, taking an extra card from the top 2 of the deck. Don't worry, Comfy, you got Grass Knot. You can use Grass Knot now to stop us from attacking. Use Grass Knot, Comfy. It's just a funny reference to Unite, for those of you who don't get the joke. Just a silly little joke for those Unite fans out there. Comfy, which one do you prefer, Floral Healing or Sweet Kiss? I'm still a big fan of Sweet Kiss. Floral Healing is way too easy. And where's the fun in that? It's not challenging enough. Come on, challenge yourself, guys. Why play Floral Healing when you can do Sweet Kiss? But back to the TCG. Enough with Unite. I'm gonna have to stream some Unite soon. I mean, I'm getting a little bit exhausted, like burned out with TCG at the moment. So I may have to come back to TCG in a couple days after streaming Unite. I need to take a break. I need to take a break from this game. I'm sorry, guys. It's very much necessary, and it will help me recover and grow in my own way. It's never healthy to focus on the same thing for a long period of time and, you know, just keep banging your head against the wall. Sometimes you just need to focus on something else and then come back to the topic with fresh new ideas, with a new perspective, with a new attitude, with some new ideas, right? It's gonna change your brain. It's gonna basically rewire your brain, and you're gonna come back more excited, more juiced up to play the game. So that's why I play something else, just to get me more fired up for TCG than I normally would. So it's very much needed for someone to take a break from something that they're focusing and pursuing, even though it's like super important for them to stay on track and keep pushing forward. I feel like taking a break is gonna benefit someone a lot. I'm speaking from experience. I've reached a point playing Pokemon TCG online and live. I've reached a point where I almost gave up entirely on the channel and decided just to not make any more Pokemon card videos anymore. That's how burnt out I was. And then I realized that, you know what? Let's try focusing on something else and then keep, you know, switching back and forth between those two different games. And that actually helped me a lot. It helps me open new pathways, basically neural pathways for playing the game. When you take a break, a very much necessary break from a certain project that you're running, it really it helps you open new pathways. Trust me, it really does. It really helps you because you're resetting the brain, and you won't be using the same strategies. You won't be using the same counters that you normally would. You would actually be thinking up new ways to you know, fit in cards, new ways to make the deck list more holistic, new ways to play better. So that's all I have to say. Taking a break is super important. For anything that you do in life, taking a break is very important, but you have to make sure to limit it. Don't take too long of a break, because experience is even more important. If you take too long of a break, then you won't have enough experience to play better, right? If you play if you keep playing, if you keep practicing, then you're gonna get a lot better than everyone else. And guess what? When you stop practicing, everyone else is gonna get a lot better than you. So you have to time your breaks well, and you can't really just abandon the game for too long. Which is sometimes what I do, I guess. The reason for me playing that badly sometimes. My bad gameplays is just me not having enough experience. So don't be lazy, Don't do drugs. Stay in school, kids. Mimikyu. Oh, now we're up against a Mimikyu control with like Xatu and Mewtwo V-Star. They got Side Purge for 270 damage, and then the Mimikyu wall, placing 7 damage counters at a time, with Ghost Eye to finish off Stage 2 EXs like Charizard, while walling with their Safeguard ability. Interesting. But we do have the weakness advantage, playing a Dark type against the Mewtwo. So I think we have some advantage for this game, for this matchup. But we do have to be careful about the Safeguard. We have to attack with Crobat to take out the Mimikyu. We can do Cutting Wind for 130. We can also hit for only 50 damage with Echoing Madness, locking their supporter or item on the next turn. I feel like locking the supporter is better, because then they can play boss, Raihan. I don't know. I'm just afraid of the boss. That's the only thing I'm afraid of, because if they boss, they can take out the Moltres with Side Purge for extra 2 prize, which is not great. We don't want them to be bossing Ekans on the bench as well. We should be benching a second Ekans though. Oh, but we have the Roaring Moon instead. I'm not sure if it's the right move to be benching it so early. I feel like we should only be benching it when we have the Dark Patch to attach the energy, because then we get to easily retreat or switch into the active. We don't have any switches. We can easily retreat with the Zubat or something, and then, you know, do a surprise Frenzied Gouging since it's a basic. Because if you bench it whenever you can, your opponent is probably going to target it with the boss, since it's like that powerful. Know what I mean? We do have the Rod, but still, we should have been more careful for this game. Anyways, I think I'm just gonna end the voice right here and leave you guys focus on the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Today we're featuring the new Crobat from Paradox Rift with an Echoing Madness attack, allowing you to lock your opponent from playing supporter or item cards during their next turn, while also disrupting their hand with Menacing Fangs, using Arbok EX to discard 2 cards from their hand for 3 Darkness Energy before actually playing Crobat for Echoing Madness, locking them from playing their items or even supporter cards. They can't play Boss, Raihan, or Iono if you lock their supporters. They can play Avery as well. And we also have 1 Roaring Moon to basically collect extra prizes by doing Frenzied Gouging for a surprise knockout, 1 Galarian Moltres V for the extra energy, making use of Energy Switch, Dark Patch, Raihan, or even Poppy to charge up our Arbok EX to do Menacing Fang for 3 Darkness. So that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Have a great day and bye from the people. Enjoy life!